Kia ora whanau. Happy Saturday night to you. I hope you guys are all toasty and warm inside. I'm not quite sure what's happened to the Auckland weather, but it suddenly got really wintry. Had a lot of rain today, and for the first time, I've actually worn a jacket outside. So I'm hoping this is not the really early start of winter. Anyway, happy Saturday night to you. So tonight for dinner, I'm going to make some pizza. So as you've heard me mention before, I'm not actually dairy or gluten-free, but this recipe is just so good. So even if you're not dairy and gluten-free, guys, give this recipe a go. It makes the nicest pizza base I think I've ever had. The one thing about it though is that after you make it, it is quite a runny mixture, but it will solidify when you've cooked it in the oven, and it comes out just like it's just really, really yummy. Hey, Andre. So this recipe I'm doing tonight is actually not from the Thermomix database. So there's 66,000 recipes in there, but the one I'm doing tonight is actually from a website called Quirky Cooking. So you can just Google Quirky Cooking and have a look, and they specialize in recipes that are very allergen friendly. So if you're looking for recipes that are dairy-free, gluten-free, soy-free, all that kind of thing, go and do a search on their website. So tonight, I've got my recipe printed, and I'm going to be using my Thermomix manually. Alrighty, so here we go. So to start the recipe off, I have got 2 tablespoons of chia seeds. So my chia seeds, I'm now going to add 2 tablespoons of water. And this is going to act as our thickener. So here we go. 1, 2. So again, that's 2 tablespoons of chia seeds and 2 tablespoons of water. I'm just going to stir these up together. And this is actually going to turn into a bit almost like a semi-jelly-like type of finish. It's going to be quite solid. So we've got those sitting together. Oh, I'm making a mess already. This is not a good start. And I'm just going to put that to the side while I carry on with my recipe. So what you didn't see is a couple of minutes ago, I added into my Thermi bowl 120 grams of brown flour and, oh my goodness, Mr. Shalako, and 120 grams of basmati rice. So 120 grams of basmati and 120 grams of brown rice, and I've milled it down. So you'll see that actually what it's done, it's milled down for 1 minute at speed number 9. And what I basically have now is a flour consistency. So quick and so easy, and it's really nice to make things fresh as well. So into my mixture now, what I'm going to do is start up my scales. And into this, I am going to add 80 grams of millet. So you can get millet from any health food stores. Oh, I couldn't actually get millet in its raw form, so I'm using millet flakes. So into my mixture, I'm adding 80 grams of millet. It's so much quick and easy to be able to do this straight in the bowl. Here we go. Bang on, how about that? Also into this, I'm going to add 40 grams of dried chickpeas or buckwheat. So I'm going to add 40 grams of dried chickpeas. I'm going to tear my scales. Here we go. Oh, I've got a chickpea jam. Okay, so as I said, you can use buckwheat for this instead of chickpeas. On goes our lid. So we're now going to mix this up for 1 minute at speed number 9 again. So it was the same amount of time and speed that I made my flour at. So I'm not going to talk over this for a minute simply because the machine is quite powerful and it gets a bit loud. So just bear with me. 1 minute. speed number 9. Hi guys, I don't know if you can hear me or not, but I'm making the Quirky cooking gluten and dairy-free pizza base. Really, really yummy recipe. So we're just doing our milling down at the moment. Almost done. 10 seconds to go. Alrighty. Let's have a look and see what we got. So what we've got now is a really, really fine flour consistency. And this is pretty much the bulk of our dry ingredients. So into this now, we're going to start adding our secondary ingredients. So I'm going to go back into scales. Into here, I'm going to add 140 grams of arrowroot. That's going to be almost a full container of arrowroot. 79, 80. Ah, look at that. Close enough is good enough, I reckon. Also into that, I'm going to add 40 grams of mixed seeds. So what I've got in my mixed seed bunch, I've got some pumpkin seeds, I've got some sunflower seeds, and at the bottom of this, I've also got a few sesame seeds as well. So you can kind of pick whatever seeds you really want to put in there. So we're going to weigh in 40 grams. Ah, look at that. Brilliant. We're going to add 2 teaspoons of dried, grab a new teaspoon. One, 2. We're then going to add 2 teaspoons of sea salt. I'm using my citrus salt here. I don't know if you guys have used citrus salt before, but it gives a really, really nice sort of zingy flavour. And of course, it's a Thermomix recipe, so you can make it yourself for next to nothing. So 2 teaspoons of sea salt. It's going in there. And then what we're going to do is mix this on speed 6 for 10 seconds, and that's just going to bring everything together. Ten seconds, speed number 6. And let's have a look, see what we got. Okay. How's that? And that's pretty much all our dry ingredients. So the actual big pieces of seed that were in there, like the pumpkin seeds and things, they've pretty much just been broken up now. So it's not quite, they're not quite in a flour consistency, but you can see there's little pieces of it in there. Okay, so into this now, we are going to add 380 grams of warm water. So I'm just going to go into my scales, 380. Oh, my guesstimate was a bit out. That's what happens when you guess instead of weighing. 380, 70, 80. Woohoo! Also into this, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. First time I made this, I actually used that Honeygah apple cider vinegar, the one with a little bit of honey in it. It's really sweet. Oh man, it was so, so good. Then I'm going to add 60 grams of olive oil. Just going to turn my scales. And here we go. 40, 50. Oh, alrighty. And finally, what I'm going to do is add my chia seeds. So as you can see now, my chia seeds have kind of turned into a bit of a hard mixture, and they've all clumped together, so they've absorbed the 2 tablespoons of water that they were soaking in. So that's going to go in there as well. As you can see, they've got a bit sticky. Goes in there. Something I find when I'm making these types of recipes too is that you kind of look at some of the ingredients and think to yourself, gosh, that's a bit of an expensive ingredient. But actually, because you use so little of the ingredients, it actually works out to be much better value than it is by buying your regular ingredients. So you don't let the price of buying some of the stuff put you off. So for example, this was $8 for my millet, but quite literally I've used maybe about a quarter of the packet so far. So I'm going to get lots and lots out of it. Okay, now what we're going to do is whiz this up at speed 5 for 15 seconds. And that's pretty much our mixture done. So 15 seconds. Oh, we'll do speed 5.5. Alrighty, and this is pretty much our mixture done now, guys. So as you can see, it is really quite a liquid but quite thick mixture. So I'm just going to scrape in a little bit of flour that's been flung up around the sides. Give that a quick stir in. So depending upon the size of the pizza you're going to make, you can get 3 or 4 pizzas out of this. I'm going to do 2 large pizzas. So what I'm going to do on my thermomat here is roughly pour out about half my mixture straight into the middle. Just like that. Then I'm just going to spread this round. So by looking at it, you kind of think, really, that's going to turn into a pizza base? But honestly, it makes the yummiest pizza base I think I've ever had. It's going to rise a little bit thanks to the yeast that's in there, but I'm going to try and make a fairly evenly thicker layer all the way through. And that's my pizza base. So what I'm going to do now is basically put this in an oven at 220 degrees. And I'm going to do that for around 25 to 30 minutes. Just before I do that though, what I'm going to do is get a little bit of olive oil. And what I want to do is crisp up around the edges of it, so it looks a bit more like a regular pizza base. So I'm just going to use my finger over the little olive oil hole and just put a little bit of olive oil just around the edges of it. Just give it that extra sort of brown yumminess edge. Here we go. Cool. And that's pretty much our pizza base ready to go in the oven. It's nice and easy, guys. It's really, really yummy as well. Give it a go. Come back to my page afterwards and I'll put up a picture of my finished pizza. You don't actually put the topping on your pizza until you've cooked the base. So, and after that, you can do whatever you like. It's actually really nice just if you put rosemary, a little bit of olive oil, sea salt and garlic on it, and it turns into almost like a focaccia-style bread. Really, really good. Give it a go, guys. Have a great Saturday. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.